Senator Carlson.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I want to tell you of a journey for me to this day in this place. A half century ago, I was in high school. I didn't even know what a gay person was. We were in a rural community, and that's Rosemount, south of town here. Sure, there were friends, acquaintances, and classmates who seemed just a little bit different. Sometimes these schoolmates were shunned, teased, even bullied. And I have to admit that I may have been more apt to be on the delivery side than I was on the receiving side. For the next number of years, I learned a lot of different things from different people, the diversity that I was involved with in my education, in my career, and with my wife's career as a teacher. It's the kind of things that we all experience, and we learn from it. Then about 9 years ago, when I decided to run for office, I knocked on a door in Eagan. And a fellow came to the door. I identified myself and why I was at the door. Don is his name, asked me to step inside for a moment. He said he wanted to ask me a question. Meanwhile, Emily, his wife, was headed toward us. Now, Don and Emily are elderly people, and I have to pause for a second. Elderly people means anyone whom I think is older than me. So Don and Emily were standing there, and Don said, "I want to know your position on same-sex relationships." I panicked. I knew gay people. I didn't know much about gay people. I hadn't thought about same-sex relationships. But I did have a position that I thought should probably work with these folks, and they wouldn't kill me at the door. I said, I really don't care. I really don't care what people do in their private lives. Don responded that his brother had recently died and had been in a same-sex relationship for 40 years. Imagine the relief. This statement put me on the road to a new area of learning. A few months later, while waiting for my car to be washed by a high school group, I struck up a conversation with a woman who was waiting also for her car to be washed. In the course of our conversation, I asked Rebecca how she liked living in Eagan. She said she liked Eagan, but it's not very friendly to same-sex people. With this statement, I entered the on-ramp to the interstate of learning. This was new for me. Shortly after Rebecca, my neighbors Steve and Jim entered the lives of our extended family. Shortly after that, Kimberly and Rachel. After that, Nancy and Kathy. Then many other couples and singles who taught me that their love is really no different than the love that I have for my wife of 43 years, Gail. These friends changed me from an advocate to an activist. Similarly, our world has changed, our country has changed, our state has changed, our legislature has changed, and I have changed. I am honored and proud to be in this place at this time and cast this vote recorded in history. And in doing so, I want to thank my teachers, my wife Gail, Don and Emily, Kimberly and Rachel, Steve and Jim, Nancy and Kathy, and of course, Richard and Scott. Thank you very much, and please vote green.
Senator Benson.